Good morning and welcome to Wake Up Well. Today we're looking at Matthew chapter 23, where Jesus is talking to the Pharisees and the local community leaders. He says that they are hypocrites. They are like whitewashed mausoleums. They look great on the outside, but inside they smell of death and decay. Well, I'm outside my house here, and behind me you can see that we've got a tree which has been cut down. I think this is a wonderful picture which helps to illustrate what Jesus is talking about. You can see from the size of the root that it's really quite impressive. We lost count at about 170. It must be at least 200 years old. And it stood high above the community. It would act as like a way marker. You knew where you're on the city limits. In fact, local families would know, oh yeah, you turn right after the big ash tree, and then that's where the schools are. But let me just show you a little bit closer as to what's going on. This tree was impressive in its day, and it was well looked after, to be honest. But the problem is that when it had been cut back and pollarded, where the stumps of the branches, the limbs had been cut off, it hadn't healed over properly. And you can see on the bough behind me where these fissures have opened up in the tree. As a result, the virus gets in and it causes decay and it makes the tree brittle. And this is the great concern. It was a magnificent tree. It lost a bit of its glory because of the disease going in. But actually, it had moved from being a waymarker to the community to now becoming a liability because it didn't have the strength and it could easily snap and break. We had to get professionals in to cut the tree down. And it was really interesting because they pointed out to me that you could be on a tree branch and hanging on to something and think that it's nice and strong, but then you realize that the one beside it is not so strong because it's got disease on the interior. And again, using this tree as an illustration of how things might look great on the outside but not so good on the inside, you might think going for the big showy part of the branch is the best place to go, to then find that it's all brittle and decayed inside, and you really shouldn't trust it. This makes me think about the verses which Jesus is teaching about, saying he's the vine and that God is the vine dresser. And there's moments and seasons in our life where we need to be pruned back and cut back. And in that it's really important that we heal and we don't allow for any bitterness or any decay or disease to creep in, because this will ultimately affect our interior life. There are other times in our life which we are growing, we bear fruit, and it all looks good and it's fantastic. But Jesus is calling us out on that. We need to be humble of heart, poor in spirit, to realize that it's the vine dresser and it's God in heaven who causes things to grow. He's the one who should be taking the credit for the fruit which comes out. So my thought for today is that I pray that you put strong, deep roots down. If you are in that phase of being pruned back, I pray that it will be healthy healing and that the disease will not get into it. If you are bearing good fruit and growth at the moment, that we give thanks to God in heaven for it. I guess also in the same way that Jesus admonishes the Pharisees and the community leaders, we should be mindful that our church, our community, the way we express ourselves, that we would pray that it would be a way marker for the community so that they'd be able to see where they are on the landscape. And I pray that it certainly would be a safe place for people to pass under and come alongside. So be blessed this day and put down strong roots, enjoy the sunshine and pray for the rain. Amen.